Hi, so this video is for the National Homelessness Law Center. My name is Aaron Collier, Aaroncolyer. I give permission to use this video. Um, so, one of the questions is across the country, people are making laws to arrest or fine people for sleeping outside. What do you think about that? I think it's a violation of the Constitution. We have the right to rest. We have the right to travel. If people don't have a home to rest in, they have to rest somewhere. And if there's no shelters or other places for them to go, they have to sleep outside or in a tent or somewhere. So I think that cities that are making laws against the homeless are violating the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer, but that's what I think. So the next question is, how has the risk of being fined or jailed for sleeping outside impacted your life? I've actually been ticketed and arrested for being a homeless veteran. I was arrested in Seattle, Washington in 2008 for helping to create a community called Nicholsville, where we provided 150 emergency tents to 153 homeless people to provide shelter when the city of Seattle was wanting to build a $220 million jail. So being arrested definitely caused me a lot of anxiety and panic attacks and just disbelief that a homeless veteran would be arrested for being homeless. It was pretty shocking. And then in I think it was 2012, I was ticketed by the Alameda County Police for habitating in a vehicle. I had managed to save up enough money to buy a van so I didn't have to sleep in a tent or sleep on the streets anymore. I get Social Security disability at the time, so I think it was maybe $750, $800 a month, and with that I managed to save up and buy a van. And I got ticketed by the Alameda County Police or the Alameda City Police for habitating in a vehicle. It was over $800 for the fine, and luckily I had a great attorney named Barbara. What was her name? I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she ran for judge in Alameda back in 2012 or 2013. So she got the charges dismissed, which was good because I didn't have $800 to pay a fine for being homeless. That's ridiculous. How are you going to fine a homeless person? They're not going to be able to pay a fine. That's kind of how it's not just a risk of being fined or jailed. I've actually been fined and jailed. So then the next question is, how would your life be different if there was a bigger risk of jail or tickets for sleeping outside? Well, currently I'm housed. I've been housed now for about 3 years. I spent at least a decade chronically homeless. And in that time, I've seen cities everywhere that I lived at seeming to make more laws against the homeless and criminalizing homelessness and no sleep, stand, or lie bills where you can't sit down on the sidewalk, you can't lie down on the sidewalk, you can't sleep on the sidewalk, stuff like that. It really impacts people's lives, because how are you supposed to rest if you can't lie down somewhere? My life would be a lot different today if if being homeless and the criminal penalties for being homeless had been more severe. I might be in jail today instead of being housed stably. So the next question, this legal fight might end up in the Supreme Court. How do you feel about that? I don't really support the Supreme Court right now. They're They've made a lot of really bad decisions, like ending Roe versus Wade, and they don't seem to have people's best interests at hearts. So I don't really trust the Supreme Court to make the right decision regarding homelessness and keeping people safe. And a tent saved my life when I was homeless, a tent and a sleeping bag. So I don't really trust the Supreme Court to be compassionate and let people survive. More broadly, what do you think of the idea that people should be punished for being homeless? I think that's absolutely garbage and ridiculous. Nobody should be punished for being homeless. Even if you choose to be homeless, some people do choose to be homeless. Some people choose to live in their vehicles. Not a lot of people do, but some people do. There shouldn't be penalties for choosing to live homeless. That's just or being homeless not by choice. More broadly, what do you think? Oh, already answered that question. If you were in charge, what would you do to solve homelessness? I would call for a national emergency and begin immediately building hundreds of thousands of low-income and affordable housing units. We currently have over 1 million homeless people in this country, and mostly people that can't afford rent, and they need low-income and affordable housing. So that's what I would do. What do you have to say to people pushing to ticket and arrest people for living outside? You're just cruel and inhumane, and I hope you never have to be homeless because it's not fun. Is there anything else you would like to share? There's a lot of homeless veterans out there, and I was one of them. And even with the programs that are available to homeless veterans, it's still not enough. There's still hundreds of thousands of homeless veterans in this country. I don't know why. There shouldn't be. Shouldn't be anybody homeless in this country. We're the greatest nation on the earth, and we're the richest nation on the earth, and there's nothing that we can't do if we put our mind to it. So, the only reason that we're not solving the homeless problem is because we don't want to, apparently. So hopefully we'll get some leadership that will do that. That's all I got. Thanks for your time, and thanks for caring about the homeless.